Yeah, it's Monday, and it's very thundery out there. We did go for the bike ride this morning because, what else? I needed the exercise. I needed to, and not too long after we walked back into the house after the bike ride, because this is a 30-minute ride. It's about 4 miles. And the thunder started. The storm is huge, and it is a little north of us. So we may or may not get any rain, but we get to listen to thunder for a little while. Yay. All right. So we are doing the appendix for the new design for living. And it turns out I have picked my next book. And the book that I was going to do is The Bible in Light of Religious Science. Well, it turns out that there's a newer edition of it called The Hidden Power of the Bible. The Bible in Light of the Religious Science is a reprint of the 1919 book. And literally it's a photocopy. It's beautifully bound, but it's a photocopy. And so, when I showed it to Jesse, and he said, yeah, that's a great book. I said, and then he said, but, and I went, oh, really? Well, it turns out I have the Hidden Power of the Bible too. So I have 2 copies of the same book, just 2 different names. So gotta watch that. So that is the one we are going to do next. And I forgot to bring it into the room. Otherwise I'd show it to you. All right. Just lost my train of thought. Let's do the housekeeping and then we'll do the appendix. And all the housekeeping is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. That gets you 1 email a week. Tells you what's going on for the week and the month, and the hot links are hot. So click here now means it. It is also a blind CC, meaning nobody will see your email. You won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. So hopefully you think it's worth the risk, because it's not a risk. And then there were words. Social media. I mentioned the social media merely from the standpoint of we do not monetize the social media. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So we ask you instead to go like, subscribe, follow based on which platform you're on, and then engage with the individual post by reacting to the post, commenting on the post, sharing the post. It bumps us in the algorithms. More people see our stuff. So it's a free and easy way that you can support the center by getting our stuff in front of more people. Just the whole goal of social media anyway, right? So there is that. And we are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark. And I am the running Rev Ryan across all of the social medias that I am on. So there is that. Okay. And as I said, I have loved this book. Of all of the books that I have done, and I have done several of them at this point, because I've been doing this for 6 years now. 6 years now. Wow. Yeah, I did start in 2020. I started, I think, in March of 2020. I think this has been one of my favorites. Now, I love this thing called You. That is probably my favorite, but this has definitely cracked the top 2. I'm not sure if it's taken the place. This is the what, the how, and the why of science of mind. This is how you do science of mind. He sat down with Willis Kinnear and said, okay, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. And this is why we're doing it, which is science, because science is about the why. So, and we're done. We're done with the book, but there were, in the appendix, he put good real world examples of common things that people ask about. So I'm reading the appendix. It also gave me a minute to, really look for my next book. So there's that too. All right. And today he's doing affirmation and denial. So again, like I said, these are just real world examples where he gives you a brief explanation and then does them for you so that you can either use it as a template, change it however it makes sense for you, or, just use it the way he wrote it. But as I like to say, if a word in it doesn't resonate with you, change the word. Ernest would fully encourage you because he wants you to use the words that are meaningful to you. So, all right, affirmation and denial. By far, the larger part of our thinking processes are automatic, casting, as it were, the images of our acceptance into the universal law of mind, which reacts upon them. And thus, it is that fear that can It is that fear can bring about the conditions feared, while faith can reverse it. Basically, what you dwell on is what you bring on. Which is why worry is not useful. Because you're worrying about bad things happening, and the universe goes, oh, that's what you want? Okay. Whereas if you're imagining all of the things that could go right, then the universe goes, oh, that's what you want? Okay. See? The universe doesn't judge whether it's good or bad for you. The universe just says, oh, that's what you want. That's the blessing and the curse. So, in spiritual mind treatment, affirmation and denial is for the purpose of erasing the wrong thought patterns and establishing the correct ones. This practice is both scientific and effective in that a denial tends to erase the negative conviction, while an opposite affirmation tends to establish a new thought pattern, which works automatically as the negative one did. This affirmation can either instantly or gradually establish an inward recognition, which becomes permanent. The whole theory of affirmation and denial in spiritual mind treatment is built upon an understanding that the law of mind itself accepts the meaning and feeling of the words which we utter as though they were true. The law of mind is like a mirror. Therefore, the treatment must bring out evidence that causes our whole inward being to accept the affirmation which we make of good substance, supply, health, happiness, or success. The law of mind is like, I wanted to make sure that I got that one because it reflects back to us what we are thinking about. If you practice this method and watch the result of this simple process, you will discover that an idea logically presented to law will produce a definite result. So, and where one of the reasons why denials and affirmations work is because you don't break a habit. You replace a habit. And so that's what an affirmation does. You deny what it is that you don't want. And this is not the truth of me. And then you immediately follow it up with what is the truth of you. So you are replacing an old idea with a new one. Okay? That's how it works. And science says this is how it works. So here is his example. Today, I affirm the all good, and in this affirmation, I deny that there is any presence or power of real evil in the universe. I affirm the presence of love and repudiate every belief that hate has any power. I affirm peace and deny confusion. I affirm joy and declare that sadness has no place in my consciousness. I affirm that God is over all, in all, and through all, and there is nothing out of the past that can limit me, and there is nothing in me that can limit my future. And honestly, now, Emma's a big fan of the affirmations and denial, and that's the first time that I've come across Ernest doing them like that, where he's doing the affirmation, then the denial. So that's the first time I've seen him do that. But, you know, if it works, that's what matters. And, you know, if it helps you to do the denial and then the affirmation, or if it helps you to do all the denials and then all the affirmations, whatever way you want to do it, it's what makes you feel. And that's how it works. So the affirmations and denials are about erasing old patterns, about establishing new patterns. It's about breaking old habits and establishing new habits. And as he said, it can either work instantaneously or it can work gradually. That depends on you. And it sounds like the rain is here. Ooh, and it's really dark out there. So getting to work today is going to be fun. Yay. So affirmations and denials, you got your example. And like I said, I've never seen Ernest do it that way before. So that's really interesting. Which, again, goes back to the whatever way works for you. There are guidelines for this. There are no real rules. Even though he calls them the basic rules, There are no, because Jesse was talking about that yesterday, the two branches of science of mind before we came back into one organization. We taught 5, they taught 7. Well, in this book, Ernest taught 4. The first 3 are the ones that we know: recognition, unification, declaration. But he didn't have Thanksgiving and release, he had acceptance. So, they're guidelines. And you do them in whatever way makes you feel. And that is where the power is. So, all right, so we will pick up tomorrow with physical perfection. I have no idea where that one's going to go, so this should be interesting. All right, beloveds. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. And hey, go dance in the rain if you'd like to, but stay out of the thunderstorms day. Drink plenty of water day, and enjoy the cooler day. You got this day. Let's get this week started off right day. Hey, let's try something out new day. I don't have any idea where I was going day. Yeah, I'm out of words day. So I'm going to wrap this up day. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, because occasionally it is, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, an absolutely beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time at your own pace. Yep, true. And, as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godly. So, explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. All right, because all the divine knows is good. That's the good news. Okay, as I said, moving on into the process of my day. I'm going to get to work, but that's okay. So, take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. Oh, wait, hang on. Reverend David will be on sometime this afternoon. I'll be back with you around in the 9:15 hour. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.